Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Weekly Profit Talk. As you might imagine from the name, we do this every single week. Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. Mountain Time. That's 7:30 if you're on the West Coast, 10:30 if you're on the East Coast. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome very much. I want to actually shift gears just a little bit. We tried to talk about the things that can help you in your practice to create more financial stability, more profit, more cash, less tax. But one of the things that I have talked about frequently in the last several months, especially at the end of these conversations, is how to get a hold of me and talk to me if you'd like to learn more. This week, let's talk about what that first call actually looks like. The topic is inside your first fractional CFO intake call. And without any further ado, I'm going to get some help here on the screen. So let's go ahead and we'll launch right into this. Now, what an intake call actually is, and this is going to actually be fairly comfortable for you. You have diagnostic conversations with patients all day long. So this is going to feel very comfortable and similar because the goal during our time is simple. It's understanding how your practice actually works, where your money actually goes, and what your numbers are quietly trying to tell you. You're going to recognize the rhythm because it's the same rhythm you use with your own patients. Basically, I'll be asking a number of questions, try to learn more about what exactly it is bothers you about your business, what you think needs improvement, as well as some other things. Try to learn a bit about yourself and your aspirations for um, your work-life balance. It's not all just about the practice. You have to have a life after hours as well. And hopefully, after the end of your career, you're thinking about an exit. Um, I know if you're a physician, you're probably nearing or in your 30s if you're still young and fresh out of school. But it takes you most or all of your 20s to basically become a doctor. So you should have a goal in mind, hopefully, of about 20 to 30-year exit and actually enjoy the golden years of your life a little bit more. And one of the best ways to do that is to make sure that you're fiscally sound during um, your productive years so that you have enough put away for your non-productive years that you can live the same lifestyle that you've been accustomed to up to that point. It's not that hard to do, especially in a highly specialized field such as yours. So we're going to basically take a history and ask a few pointed questions and get a working picture of how your practice looks. The questions you can expect. I'm not going to start out by uh, opening up a rate sheet and going through all that. Uh, we're going to ask you questions about yourself. Expect to be asked fairly logical things like, how do you currently pay yourself and how did you land on that number? I've gone over this in detail in previous weeks and probably in the future. If you are an S corporation, you are expected to take a wage from your business before you take distributions and pay yourself what's known as reasonable compensation. Um, what that number is and how you chose it are important. When cash gets tight, where do you feel it first? What does your current accountant tell you, and how often do you actually hear from them? I get all kinds of answers to this one. Okay. What keeps you up at night about the money side of your practice? And I think this is important. Another thing I would mention here too is exactly how is your work-life balance? Do you feel like you have enough time to take a couple weeks off and enjoy your wife and or your husband and children? None of these has a wrong answer. The questions exist to surface the gap between what your practice looks like on paper and what it feels like in your bank account. And you may have already figured out, but if you haven't, I invite you to take a look at your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement, and then go to your actual operating checking account. You get three wildly different results sometimes. Okay. Um, you may have a very profitable practice on paper, but somehow you don't have the cash that you want to withdraw and use for the things that you need to use it for. Um, so there are no wrong answers. Simply, the questions exist to surface that gap between what it looks like on paper and your bank account, as I said. That gap is where the real work lives and how I can help you the most. What you take away in the end. Here's the part most practice owners don't expect. You leave the intake with more clarity than you arrived with, even if you choose not to work with us. You will understand which of your instincts were right, which of your worries were noise, and I'm talking about the white noise that lives inside your skull, and which ones deserve your full attention. And you will understand for the first time in a while what a genuine financial care plan for your practice would even look like. So there is value in this call with absolutely no cost or obligation other than the time it takes to sit down and talk to somebody. So at the very worst case basis, you're having a free conversation with an expert that may or may not be able to help you with your financial future. An intake is a diagnostic, it is not contractual. You take what you learn and you act on it with us if you choose to. So let's talk about the cost of not doing anything. The alternative is another quarter of guessing. And we've got a quarter ending on September 30th. Along with that is another estimated tax payment deadline, September 15th. Making that tax payment on a guess or one-fourth of what you paid in tax last year could result in nasty surprises. And you could be looking forward to the remainder of the year running your business without fully seeing the entire scoreboard. Imagine, and I like to use the basketball allegory. Say you're a coach on the sideline and half of the scoreboard is dark and you don't have any notes in front of you. You don't know how many timeouts are left, how much time's left in the game, uh, how much your lead is over the other team. You can't call the play, right? And your business is the same way. You need a good, well-lit scoreboard with all of your statistics up in front of you. An intake costs you 30 to 45 minutes, an hour at the most. No money, period. Not the first call. Flying blind costs you far more, and it charges you quietly month after month until the bill finally comes due. 1 hour of clarity or another quarter or remainder of the year in the dark. So um, essentially, what we're saying here is I would love to talk to you. We are on one of three media here, YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, and all three of those have a comments capability. So pardon me there. So what you want to do next is if you'd like to have that first call, write first call or help or more information or something in the comments or whatever you're watching this on, be that live or in replay. Either way, we'll see it and we'll reach out and we'll let you know how to book that call. So let's have that conversation soon because it can mean five, even six figures, and not only tax savings, but additional profit and cash in your business. And isn't that what you went to school for and did all that residency for in the long run? So let's talk soon. I'm really looking forward to learning more about you and let's see if it resonates to work together. So until next week, Wednesday at 8:30 Mountain Time, this has been a weekly profit talk. And by the way, if you have a chance today, do something randomly kind for a stranger. So have a great rest of the week. Stay cool in the heat and